This is the Barbados Today morning news for Tuesday, March 28th. Thank you for joining us. I am Mary-Claire Williams. Attorney General Adriel Brathwaite says tougher legislation is not the answer to curb the rising number of road fatalities. To date, 14 people have lost their lives in traffic accidents. On Sunday night, Station Sergeant Clifford Sherlock Bridgman died in a 5-vehicle smash-up on Carrington Road at its junction with Edgecombe Hill, St. Philip. Speaking on the heels of the latest fatality, Brathwaite admitted, however, that he is concerned about the high number of road deaths.
This is unprecedented in the history of Barbados. I don't believe that we've ever had so many road fatalities in such a short period of time. Indeed, to my recollection, we had 11 last year, and we're up to 14, 15 this year, which is, we must all be concerned. It's not just a legislative response, because from what I'm being told, it's mostly recklessness. So I can only use this medium to ask all road users to exercise more care and control and stuff, and in particular to our young drivers. I used to be a young driver. I understood the thrill of driving quickly. I used to challenge myself in terms of how quickly I can get from Chelsea Road to 6 Roads where I live. But this was 1981, when there were much fewer vehicles than there are on the road today. In those days, you know, if you drive at 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, you may or may not see a vehicle on the road. There is no time that I travel on the roads of Barbados that you don't see vehicles. And therefore, it means that we have to take it even slower than we did in the past.
The Ministry of Agriculture is defending its decision to ban meat products from Brazil last week, following reports of tainted meat on the market. Agricultural officials announced the lifting of the ban yesterday, but Permanent Secretary Esworth Reed says that last week's decision was taken in the interest of the welfare of local consumers.
Now, I know that there was some criticism levied against the ministry by probably one person who believed that the ministry had acted a bit too hastily. But one has to recognize that when you're dealing with the health of the people, you can't wait until something happens then to act. You know, so the ministry had to act early. We at the ministry, I would say, we make up a responsible organization, and we will ensure that the health of Barbadians is protected.
The Electoral Department has put eligible voters on notice for the upcoming poll, which is due next year. In a statement issued yesterday via GIS, the department announced it would be implementing a new system of registration effective Wednesday. Individuals who are registering for the first time, or those who are changing their registration or seeking to replace their national ID cards, must produce their original documents to support their names, date and place of birth. For non-nationals who cannot produce a birth certificate, a valid passport will be permitted for new registrations only. The University of the West Indies is joining forces with the University of Johannesburg to establish a joint institute of global African studies. UWI Vice-Chancellor Sir Hilary Beckles and his counterpart at the University of Johannesburg, Professor Aaron Rensburg, signed the agreement yesterday. Sir Hilary says it is the first time that UWI is cooperating with an African university in such a venture.
Our colleagues from the University of Johannesburg are very keen to work with us in formulating a roadmap for the global African growth. There are many challenges, many big questions, many opportunities, and we believe that the university sector has a critical role to play in shaping what will be the roadmap for African peoples everywhere.
The countdown is officially on for the hosting of the Caribbean's premier cultural showpiece, Carifesta. This will be the first time Barbados is hosting the festival in 36 years. Culture Minister Stephen Lashley told last evening's launch that the event will highlight performances from CARICOM's 15 member states as well as 3 non-member countries.
This is indeed a worthwhile investment particularly when one considers the benefits to be accrued. For example, Carry Festa 13 is expected to generate much economic activity on our island, when the expected 300 plus artists and artisans come to Barbados along with their friends and relatives to take part in the festival. From hotels to transport to restaurants to technical providers, and the list can go on and on.
In sports, Barbados Pride is looking ahead to its clash with Trinidad and Tobago Red Force next month after drawing with Guyana Jaguars yesterday in the regional 4-day tournament. Pride were 480 for 3 declared and 75 for 5, while Jaguars made 250 and 322. The Jaguars face Windward Islands Volcanoes in the next round.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Get your paper, get your paper. Only 225, 220. Who? For what? That's the bear stale news. I don't read about that on Barbados Today since last night. That can't only care do. 220. Who?
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
We're back now with news from the region. Police in Dominica have denied a request from the main opposition United Workers' Party for permission to stage a protest march in the capital on Thursday. The UWP had written to police on March 15 seeking permission for the march as part of its efforts to get the government to resign or call fresh elections. Police Commissioner Daniel Carbon said the denial was due to public safety and national security reasons. Last month, the National Security Minister Rayburn Blackmore said 4 officials from the CARICOM impacts were investigating the disturbances that resulted in damage and looting of several buildings following a meeting of the opposition. And finally, on the international scene, heavy fighting in the city of Mosul as the battle continues to retake the city from the Islamic State. But there are claims that at least 100 civilians were killed in an airstrike several days ago. The U.S. Central Command says it is investigating whether one of its planes was involved. In this BBC report, we hear how civilians are trying to cope in the midst of the hostilities.
The people of Mosul have been left with impossible choices. Risk death by staying in their own homes, or risk death taking their children across a front line.
They destroyed our homes. Entire families are gone.
Nine of Muna Fati's family were killed in the big raid on the 17th. She said she wasn't escaping the jihadists, but airstrikes that used tons of bombs on a single sniper.
They destroy the houses when there are 1 or 2 or 3 so-called Islamic State men inside them. 9 of my family killed. They call them smart bombs, but this is stupid.
Hassan Abdel Fattah showed how their flat, still near the front line, was virtually destroyed with them in it. He said that men from IS stopped his neighbor taking 6 daughters to safety, threatening to hang him from his own front door.
That's news this morning. Remember, you can get more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Or you can tune in to Channel 99 on Flow TV or Mix 96.9 FM for more news and sports. I am Marie Claire Williams. Have a good morning.